Glock 41, introduced in January 2014 at SHOT Show, along with the Glock 42, which was in .380. And what's really funny is the Glock 42 is one of their smallest Glocks, and then this Glock 41 obviously is one of the largest Glocks. This is in 45 ACP. It's really the answer to the Glock 9mm, the G34, which is the long slide, or the G35 and 40 caliber. Of course, first thing we're going to do is check to make sure the gun is unloaded. The slide on this is extended way past what the 21 is. Now I have a Model 20 right here, which is of course identical in size to the Model 21, and as you can see, it extends a good bit past. But one of the differences is with this slide on the 45 is that there is no cutout here that's in the 34 and the 35 model. But the slide has been reduced, and we're going to look at that in just a minute. Now, one of the big things though that I'm going to get to about the slide itself. This slide is the same dimensions as far as the width of the slide as your standard Glock 9mm or 40 caliber. Now here we have a Glock 19, and as you can see, the slide thickness is identical. And so what that does, it gets the slide from being so large. And I'm going to show you here is a standard Glock Model 20, or same would be for the 21, and look how much thicker that slide is. Now I have a different slide plate on here, but you can still see the thickness difference. So it's really bringing the slide down really nice, but the frame itself is the same as the full size version. So you've got the frame size, same version, yet the slide on top is going to be smaller. These will fit in many of your Model 34 or Model 35 holsters. Only thing is the grip's going to be a little bit larger, so you need to check that before you purchase a holster. One of the reasons for this long slide is that it gives a longer sight radius, and that means that when you line the sights up, it just makes it easier to get on target. It actually improves accuracy because you have a longer distance from here to here. But also it gives a lot more balance. It balances out the front of the pistol. So follow-up shots, second shots are able to be brought together really quickly. Now, one of the advantages obviously of this gun would be for 3-gun matches, competitive shooters, and even in a home defense situation. But obviously this is not a concealed carry option. But one of the things that's really fascinating about this design is even though it has a longer slide, longer barrel, it is really a bigger pistol except in slide dimensions. The Model 41 weighs 27 ounces, while the standard Model 21 weighs 29.84 ounces, or really just about 30 ounces. So you're really losing about 3 ounces with the Model 41. But with the slide, the way it comes out, it's going to give you more balance. Again, you have the longer sight radius. And so really for competitive shooters that really want to stay on target, get those fast follow-up shots, and to hit major caliber, this is an excellent choice for all the above. And two, if you just want to go out to the range and really do even more long range shots, having the longer sight radius obviously would help. It does have the 3-dot sights for the Glock factory night sights. Definitely know you're shooting a 45, but it is softer than the
It really is.
21.
I agree.
And it does come with these standard Glock sights, which have the U shape at the rear and then the front dot. But there are a lot of aftermarket sights that you can get for your pistol, whatever you like. And that's one thing about Glock, is there's so many different accessories because these pistols are so popular. Of course, it is the Gen 4 configuration. This does have the larger back strap on it. It does come with a medium and then the small, which is just removed altogether. Of course, it has the Gen 4 rough texturing, which is really just small pyramids. This is a really exceptional grip system. It really holds well in the hand, yet it looks very subdued. And of course, it has the finger grooves. It does have the enlarged magazine release. And of course that is ambidextrous, you can change that. It does have an accessory rail right here to make it really easy, and of course it does extend out just like, again, the Model 34 and the 35. Of course it has the Gen 4 magazines, which this is a 13-round magazine, polymer, but it does come with 3 magazines being Gen 4. With the Gen 3 you only get 2. Of course this does not come in Gen 3, it only comes in the Gen 4 configuration. To break down the gun, make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to pull the trigger, pull it back about 1/8 of an inch, and hit these tabs. Of course, you have your double recoil spring. This really helps, obviously, with recoil. And just go ahead and remove your barrel. The frame is pretty much the same as your Model 21 frame. But again, one of the big differences here too is the internals of the Glock Model 41. And right here you can see that there is an additional cutout that is not found in your standard Model 21 or other Glocks. And then here we have a recess here as well, removing weight. And this really reduces the muzzle flip. It gets the weight down. Your mass, when it's traveling back, it's going to be lighter. And so this really does. It helps with felt recoil. Now if you look at the barrel, you can tell that it is a lot thinner than your standard Model 21. Now I don't have a 21 barrel on hand, but I do have a Model 19 9mm barrel. And you can tell right here that there is a considerable amount of difference between the two. And this was done so they could make the slide smaller and just to thin the slide down, of course, to help with relieving weight. Now to reassemble the pistol, just slide your barrel in, take your recoil spring. It rests right here on the front of that hood, and then of course the rear right here on these barrel lugs. Let's go ahead and put our slide back on, and you're done. The Glock 41 is reliable, it's accurate. This incredible sight radius and the balance of this pistol is exceptional for competitive, whether you're doing 3-gun, USPSA, or you just want to do some long-range shooting at the range. Just a great gun, of course, Glock, quality, and for the money, just really hard to beat. And I want to thank Mike from Mr. Guns and Gear channel that let me use his Model 41 for this review. And just a great channel, so go check it out. I'll have it annotated right here and down in the description below. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, and long live the Republic. And I don't know why that's such a big deal, but it just is. And why don't you stick it straight up, blah, 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 blah. Sections that are pyramids that are written. And I want to thank Mike from, do you even go by your name on your channel at all?
Yeah, they know.
Okay, because some
Mike,
people.
that's it. Yeah, no, they know that.
And that's all, folks.